Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Roy Nemmer. I am joined by two amazing, great people. We are here to discuss Argentina's 2-0 win versus Mexico at the World Cup. We see one of them. We see Seba take a sigh of relief. So, my name is Roy Nemmer of Mundo Albiceleste.com. I am joined by Sebastian Garcia and Osvaldo Godoy. Seba, how's it going?
And breathe. we're back. We're back to life. Thank you, Roy, for having me. Hello, Osvaldo. How are you? And hello, everybody. I guess I'm feeling the same as everybody else here. Um, I'm too tired. I mean, that's the first thing I can say. Too tired, and especially relieved. And we can talk about what we saw today. But yeah, we're back in business, and I'm really, really happy to to join you guys for another video here on Mundo Albiceleste.
Hey, welcome, Seba. Always a pleasure. And for the second show in a row, we finally got our first win with him on the show. Osvaldo, how are
Yes.
you? How did you live the match?
Good. Right now, like the best way to describe it is relieved. I'm really relieved. Um, I always enjoy the World Cups a lot, but with that start, it was difficult for me to continue to watch the other games. I was always trying to see who's gonna a possible rival in round of 16, but then I remember that we lost against Saudi Arabia, and it was too difficult, too difficult. So it's I will for sure start watching again the matches of the World Cup in a better way from tomorrow. So it's a great win. Then, of course, we're going to talk about how Argentina played. Me personally, I didn't like how we played in the first half. In the second half was a little bit better, but I'm so happy.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean, Osvaldo. I'm the same to you. But before we get into everything, let me know, everybody in the chat. Let us know, as always, where are you watching us from? Where are you joining? It's always people from all around the world. Let us know in the chat. We'll bring up the comments. And to go back to what you just said, Osvaldo, I had the same thing today. I was watching France versus Denmark, and I'm thinking, oh, well, okay, if they draw, how is this going to affect Argentina? And then I said, wait a minute, Roy, let's get a win first. Let's get a win before even having to worry about anything else in round of 16 or anything after that. But here we go. Now we got the comments starting to come in. Here we go. So we got Louisiana, USA. We have Bangladesh. We got
Nice.
same for you. Excellent. New York, Bangladesh. Let us know, everybody, where are you watching from? Uh, from
India,
Sabah,
Cape Town.
Malaysia.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting a lot here. We're getting a lot. San Diego, California, Austin,
No,
Texas. I think
Roy,
Austin. Yeah.
I'm telling you, these people are not gonna sleep tonight. This
No,
is
no, 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 no.
wha- what time it is right now in India, for example, like 5 a.m. 5 a.m. in
Probably,
India. Oh my God,
probably
these guys are
from
crazy.
from
Thank you.
Ghana, Cape Town, South Africa, Las Vegas. All right,
In India
you
right
guys
now,
back
5 a.m.
Oh my God. No,
5
these guys are
a.m.
crazy. I'm telling you. These guys, yeah. I
Nuts,
mean, I'm sorry
nuts.
to tell you, but you guys are all crazy. To me, it's 5:30. I really want to go to sleep. You guys, 5 a.m. You're still watching this video. I can tell you, nothing makes me happier than this, and
Yeah,
I'm very, very humbled. I'm very proud of the space that we have here in Mundo Albiceleste, which is all for you guys. So
yeah.
thank you so much for your support. It really means a lot
I'm
to us.
Yeah, as you're talking, Seba, I'm just continuously just
Yeah, yeah,
bringing up
yeah,
the play, and
yeah.
there's like no two plays that twice. We have Edwin from the Fiji Islands. There you
Woohoo!
go,
There you go.
and we have Australia as well. So welcome, everybody. It's If I miss someone, I do apologize. We have Paro Miguel as well from Nigeria. We can continue this
Oh my
probably
God.
all day and all night and all morning and all afternoon, depending where everybody is. But let's get to it. So we knew going into this match, Argentina would have to win. We saw the outcome: Poland 2-0 against Saudi Arabia. That officially confirmed what we already knew. Argentina had to win, or else, or you know,
No,
pretty
I
much
mean
out.
we could have still survived with a draw today, but of course the perspectives were gonna be worse. But I was watching the Saudi Arabia and Poland game, and I didn't know how to react because anything that happened, any event during that game could have come back to haunt me. Because maybe I would say, okay, um, if Poland wins big, then it's good for us. But then maybe not, because you never know what's going to happen with us, with Mexico. A draw maybe would have been good, or maybe not, because it would have meant that Saudi Arabia with a win in the last game would have been impossible for us to reach. So it was very, very difficult. The whole day was about thinking of different scenarios. Now, maybe later in the show, we can talk about the new scenarios that we have
Yeah.
for the third game. But at least now we continue to depend on ourselves to continue in the competition, which frankly is all you can ask. I mean, we can look at Germany, for example. Maybe they don't depend on themselves anymore. There's other games that are other teams that are under a lot more stress than we are. But talking about stress, Osvaldo, how do you feel um, the team started this game, and how big of a factor was, the anxiety, the nervousness, the lack of confidence and trust in your abilities? What did you make of that?
Yeah, I think the anxiety and pressure played a big role in the first half. I didn't see a good Argentina. Taking aside, there were some good levels of defenders and uh, more the center backs, Otamendi and Lisandro Martinez. But in general, I didn't see a good Argentina. I would say that Mexico played better, of course, without doing much. Uh, but yeah, I saw players um, passing the ball in a not precise way, um, and with lack of ideas. Yeah, like answering to your question, I think they felt the anxiety in the first half, and I would say until Messi's goal, that for me was from out of another match,
Yeah.
and that goal also made Argentina played a little bit better, a little bit more relieved. But until that goal, I think they felt the pressure, which of course also they're professional players. They're in the elite of soccer, of football. Um, but of course, they were going to feel that pressure, and they felt.
Yeah. No, and
Absolutely.
I agree, and I'll echo Zach's sentiments as well. I think the first 15 minutes was probably the worst stretch for Argentina, probably because of, like Osvaldo just mentioned, the pressure, the stress of the players. They knew what was at stake. You cannot, not win this. And Mexico made it very complicated as well. And
Yeah.
that didn't help. And let's not forget, Tata Martino knows Argentina pretty well.
Hmm.
I coached him for a couple of years, and I felt it was a mixture of a lot of things. It was a mixture of stress, of nervousness, anxiety, all that stuff. But at the same time, whenever Argentina would get the ball, they would just get tackled, and it was another
Hmm.
foul and one foul.
Hmm.
So whatever rhythm was trying to get built did not exist, and
Right.
thankfully that changed around in the second half.
Yeah, I think to me it had a lot to do with lack of confidence, because losing to Saudi Arabia only a few days ago really, really was a big, big blow for the team. A defeat like that at a stage like that could make you question everything that that you do. Could make you question, all your abilities, all your shape, formation, individual players, everything. So in the first half, what I saw, especially at the beginning, with Mexico pressuring really, really high and trying to not give Argentina a clean play up from the back, which is one of the strengths for our team. But they made us doubt our abilities a lot more. It was like we couldn't do the basic stuff. I mean, it was a simple 3 yard pass. We couldn't make it. We couldn't connect. And not to speak about individual performances just yet. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about man of the match, who did you like, who did you not. But I think at the beginning, the poll, to me, the poll is always like a thermometer for the team. It's like if he's doing well, the team does well. If he's not doing well, the team suffers. And that first half from Rodrigo really, really scared me, and I was really concerned because he was coming from a very poor performance on Tuesday, and then luckily for us, he started getting a bit more composed, and the second half he kept getting better and better, and he grew exponentially. But at the beginning, to me, that was the key of the game. We just couldn't connect. Mexico were pressuring everywhere, and we were doubting our own abilities. We were really having issues, but then we progressed and we improved through the game. So that was very, to me, that was very clear to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Osvaldo.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with the ball, I think in the first half, and also I noticed that in many players. I think they like to play simple, more in the ball. For example, the ball try to do one play more in almost every single play. He lost a couple of balls in the first half that at the end it wasn't like good opportunities for Mexico, but still, um, and yeah, like they felt those nerves, the anxiety and the doubts that generated losing against Saudi Arabia in the first match.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, and very, very true. And let's not forget, I mean, as mentioned here, and Martino tried the anti-football tactic, and it easily could have worked. Argentina did not panic, right? Obviously, you mentioned Rodrigo de Paul, for example, in that midfield, but they didn't panic. They didn't really give the ball away cheaply. Mexico did not create much in that first half. And I think going into the second half, that maybe kind of forced them to change a little bit, because it's not like Mexico could have afforded for this to stay at 0-0, right? Because they, in a way, they needed
Right.
a win. They needed something.
Yeah. At the
And
same time, sorry, Roy, because this
yeah,
is
go
a
ahead.
point I wanted to make early on as well. Mexico, even in defeat, they still have a big chance to progress.
Of course.
If they win, and we win, they have a very good chance. Even if they're lost, if they are last in the standings, they still have a very good chance of progressing. Even if Poland wins and they win, depending on goal difference, they're through. I mean, in a way, they just need to beat Saudi Arabia comprehensively or convincingly, and wait for a very logical result in the other game.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a big difference, because for Mexico, this was never going to be the end of the road. For us, a defeat would have been it. I mean,
Disastrous.
we would have been already eliminated. And they had three possible results that were not kicking them out of the World Cup. So I think that had a bit of an impact in the game, because they knew we couldn't risk too much. We couldn't we couldn't afford to lose, and they changed shape, sorry, so many times during the game. When we went ahead, Mexico started playing like 20
Hmm.
meters forward. They At the beginning they started pressing really high. Then they sit back during the first part of the second half. So they changed their shape a lot more. We always took the responsibility. We always uh, uh, went on the initiative,
Yeah.
kept possession, uh, proposed for the most time. Um, and that to me was key. That to me was very important psychologically for both games, for both teams. Sorry, because they knew they were still alive no matter if they lost today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that we had much more to lose than Mexico previous to this match. Not only because they had the three results that they could continue in this World Cup, but also because it's not the same for Argentina to be out of the round of 16 that for Mexico. So there, I also think that
Yeah,
the kinds of
That's
pressure
true.
of Argentina and Mexico were different.
yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely true. Absolutely true. And it's, I mean, I'm gonna repeat kind of what Seba said, and and now we breathe, right? Because as
Oh my
difficult
God.
as that first half was, the second half, right from the get-go, right from kickoff, you kind of felt the team played a little bit more composed, a little bit more relaxed. Even before Messi's goal, Argentina saw more of the ball, and things were slowly rolling. And then we got the substitutions, and we got the goal. And we may as well talk about the goal right now, right?
Yeah.
uh, Wow,
Oh my god.
wow.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think. Yeah, I think the second half, we started with a different mentality. It was the same shape, same lineup, but a different mentality. We grew in confidence,
yeah.
and then I think something happened that was key for us to win this game, and that was Enzo Fernandez introduction. He really changed the game, and it was pretty simple. It was like we removed Scaloni removed Guido Rodriguez, who was sitting really deep, sometimes
Mhm.
playing in the middle of the
Center
two
back.
center backs and allowing them to make a couple of forward runs. But Enzo played a few meters forward and started playing passes forward with more intention. He can do that. He has a he can roam in a different way. He can get to different areas of the pitch that Guido can't, because it's not because Guido is a bad player, not at all, but
No,
he does a thing more defensively. So I think we risk a little bit, but maybe because we saw that Mexico were already starting to sit deep and not pressing so high like in the first half. So that changed the game to me. I mean, I think we also got a break. We needed a break. We were getting no breaks.
big
Like in the first half, Saudi Arabia took two shots on goal and scored both. I mean, that's really unlucky. And today we needed a break. So after that substitution, it wasn't like we had to wait 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but the impact was
yeah.
immediate. And then we got the goal. Just before the goal, we saw a couple of more substitutes, but I thought that was not too tactical. It was more replacing like for like.
Hmm.
Lautaro replaced by Julian and Montiel replaced by Molina. Montiel had a yellow card. Lautaro was struggling to find rhythm or spaces, and Scaloni tried to put someone more mobile like Julian. But those those two substitutes, it's not like we score because of those substitutions, because
No,
they came only 1 minute before the goal. It wasn't a consequence. The goal was not a consequence of those last two substitutions, but I think it helped get more oxygen in the team and moment of brilliance. When a game is tight like that, and if you have the best player in the world, you could you could see an advantage.
yeah.
Yeah, I would
Love
say
it.
yeah, most of the players that came in came really good. There was good substitutions from Scaloni. We can discuss if maybe De Paul should have went to the bench before, like going to the bench and not maybe Guido Rodriguez in the change of Enzo Fernandez. But what I agree also is that the posture in the second half, even before the goal, was different. I was listening to, I don't remember exactly which one of the players. I think it was Rodrigo De Paul talking to the press, that he was asked what did Scaloni tell them like during the halftime, and he
Hmm.
just said that Scaloni told them to continue playing the same way they play in the last couple of years, but in a more relaxed way, calmly, and just play simple. And I think they did that in the beginning of the second half, and of course after the first goal and the second goal, it was much easier to do all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy, and let's not forget too. I mean, yes, it's very obvious, but I think we're gonna get a very different Argentina team for the third game against Poland. The first one was a shock. This one, they couldn't play. No matter, I don't care the team that you are, under the circumstances that this Argentina team were under, to play or to expect them to play like they had been for those 35 or 36 games with the pressure they were under, that was impossible. So,
Hmm.
the substitutions I think helped a lot. It was like for like. Julian, I thought when he came on, was obviously very energetic. He helped press because I thought Lautaro was dead, and I mean that physically. He was just very tired from all the running and tracking back. Pardon me, Montiel was already on a yellow. So I thought the substitutes helped. That goal by Messi, which I think is a goal that not many people could score. The precision, the pressure, everything, especially against a goalkeeper like Ochoa at a World Cup, is not easy. And then that was it. Argentina were able to breathe. And to add to what Osvaldo said in terms of what Scaloni told the team, then they were able to play maybe a little bit like they were able to in those 35, 36 games, because that's when we started seeing the Argentina that we know. It was after the first goal.
Yeah. I thought if there is one thing that I didn't fell in love with today, I mean, not to say that I disliked that it happened, but I felt the last couple of substitutions, getting Ezequiel Palacios in and Cuti Romero as well, with almost 30 minutes to go, I thought it was. It could have. I mean, it could have come a bit later because I felt like we could start playing some combinations, some possession game, some trying to hit Mexico for a second goal earlier, or with more decisiveness or determination, because it felt like the message was, okay, I'm gonna close shop now. I'm gonna be happy winning 1-0, because you introduce Cuti Romero, you put Ezequiel Palacios instead of you remove Di Maria there. So it was a message like, okay, I know Mexico, you're gonna come at me. I'm gonna close shop. And to me,
Yeah,
that would have been a move more for the last 10 minutes. But I'm okay with it. I mean, let's not forget, if they score and they equalize, maybe the morale would have been demolished. We still got a second goal with that formation and that shape. So to me, I'm getting picky because I
yeah,
liked everything about today. I'm getting picky. That those are the things that maybe with a different approach, stayed with that shape and formation for a little longer. Maybe you get a more comfortable win, but I'm good. I'm good that we won, and also it gave us an opportunity to grow a little bit in confidence, get a clean sheet, get Cuti Romero in, and change the taste in his mouth that he had uh, in the last game. So we know he's ready to play. He was there. He played a solid game, and we close shop. I mean,
yeah,
Mexico had only one shot on goal, and that was a free kick in the first half. So all good in that sense.
yeah. Do you agree with that, Osvaldo? You think the substitutions were just kind of welcoming pressure and going defensive too early?
Yeah, yeah, I think that not only in those substitutions, but I think there are a lot of things to talk about the match that weren't that good. As you said, Roy, it was not a. We couldn't expect a brilliant game of Argentina because of the pressure, and it was like we would have been expecting too much. And Argentina at the end won 2-0, and we did well. Maybe, yeah, putting Romero and Otamendi and Lisandro Martinez with like defending with five defenders with 30 minutes left was a little bit too soon. I also thought the same. Okay, we're sending a clear message of we're gonna go back and defend these results, which is
Yeah.
which is not bad. But I think after the goal we could have continued going in the same way we were playing. I think we still try to play that way even with five defenders.
Hmm.
Maybe just changing from four to five defenders doesn't mean that you're more defensive. That's also true, and it's also true that Scaloni uh, wanted to play with five defenders, or at least try that like in the practice sessions.
Hmm.
So, and also another thing, I don't know if you noticed the same, is that there were many players very tired. Uh, I
Yeah,
think a lot of players ran a lot. Even the Paul, who had a really bad match, um, he he ran a lot as he usually does. But there were a lot players very tired. Also, the fact that all the pressure makes. I was talking to a friend before that you can run a lot, but if you run a lot with this pressure, you are gonna get three times more tired. And I think
Yeah.
that many players were like that.
100%.
And if we do the subs, maybe with 15 minutes left, uh, that means that we're like there's a lot of energy that can comes from the bench that we're not getting. So it depends on how you see it, I think.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's true. You know, when you say it that way, you say, well, five defenders, it does sound as if you're welcoming pressure, right? The way I saw it when I saw Cuti Romero coming in, yes, I got a little flashback of, wait a minute, why are we going so defensive so early? I got a flashbacks of a certain game. but then at the same time, when you watch the way it played, it was really, we were stretching them to a certain degree. You had Acuna, who I thought played tremendous, very high up the pitch. You had Molina, who I think gave away the ball more times than he should have,
Yeah.
very easily. But they still pushed wide. So Mexico's strength, to a certain degree, or not their strength, but what they were dangerous in, were the crosses, right? Whipping those crosses into dangerous situations. Adding someone like Cuti Romero, who is pretty good in the air. I don't think Mexico was really going to run at him too much. Not the way they were set up. I think it was kind of safe. The energy in midfield, we're going to talk about Enzo Fernandez in just a second. I thought Ezequiel Palacios was an interesting take for me. Interesting he went with Palacios instead of maybe someone like Dybala, who could potentially help hold the ball maybe a little bit more than maybe Palacios. But Palacios is combative, can definitely take the beating, and he got fouled once or twice in there as well. But one of the substitutions paid off, literally with a
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah. No, and I would like to speak a little bit about the first goal. I think that
Yeah,
I mean, that took a giant monkey off our back.
of course.
I agree. That goal gave us life, and also, and Roy, one of the things you have prepared for us to see on screen, that goal. I don't know if everybody is aware, but that goal was pretty not only important for this
Yeah,
game and this World Cup, but it was
we're-
important on a historic level because that goal means he's in very good company now, right, Roy? Can you
yeah,
show us what I'm talking
it
about?
is. It is. Yeah, I'm bringing that up right now. So I thought you were gonna go with the other one, but yes, very
Sorry,
good
no, sorry.
company. No, it's okay. It's okay, Seba.
So there you
So
go. Today he was equaling Diego Maradona's games at the World Cup, the number of matches at the World Cup with 21. That was a given, but he needed a goal to also equal Diego. So now both are on 21 games, 8 goals in at the World Cup. And now with this win, Messi has one more than Diego. Of course, he needs to know how much he weighs, know
mhm,
how much that trophy weighs, right? Uh, he needs to complete the mission, right? But
yeah,
you could see there's also another couple of statistics. Diego has two more assists to this point than Lionel. Lionel had an assist today, so he also scored. He also added to that column. But the big difference there, apart from Diego
wow,
having won the World Cup, it's the
fouls.
fouls that they received. Messi was fouled. He's fouled a lot. He's fouled quite a lot, but at an average of 3 fouls roughly per game. But look at Diego's number: 152 fouls received. You could see that football back in the 80s and
A
90s was a
little,
bit, yeah, it was a bit different.
a little
And
violent.
yeah, and the last one is the dribbling, if successful dribblings, and Messi has a few more than Diego. But there you go. That's a nice comparison. It's always great
Yeah,
uh, to see these kind of things that are historical. We're witnessing history. Now he needs two more to equal Gabriel Batistuta. He's the all-time goal scorer for Argentina at the World Cup.
yeah.
Hopefully
12 goals.
he gets to that. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
get.
it was a pretty historic moment, not just a big relief, not just the 3 points, the decisive goal in this match, but also, you know, one to remember.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was just 2 years and one day after the Maradona's death. And today, I think it was today or yesterday, that Messi posted something in his Instagram account. Like, I think it was a story
Yeah.
with a picture of Maradona. So
Yeah,
it's good statistic there.
it
Yeah.
it was, and we're. I mean, it's crazy to think already in his fifth World Cup, 10 goals, and who knows what could have happened in 2010, where he was just as unlucky as
Oh my
any
God.
player can get throughout the course of
Yeah.
5 games at a World Cup when it comes to
Yeah.
scoring
And
posts,
what
assists.
happened? Do you know what happened right after he scored? We almost lost one of the members of the coaching staff.
We
Yeah. Yeah.
we
I
did.
don't know if you've seen this, but
Yeah,
I felt for Pablo Aymar. He was having a
I
hard time to recover. Yeah.
I'm gonna play the video for those that didn't see it.
Yeah.
And here we go. So this is this is little Pablito Aymar. This is Pablo Aymar. Look at this guy.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Look at him. Yeah.
No, no.
The other two, Scaloni and Samuel, they were discussing the next couple of substitutions. They were saying, okay,
Wow.
now Cuti will
Be-
come on. Now we will replace Di Maria. But Aymar was in another planet. He
Yeah.
was fighting
no,
for his life, I think.
he
War
was.
flashbacks from 2002 all over. Yeah.
But see, I think that's what it was. I really think that's what it was because he lived it in 2002. He
Yeah.
was on the
Yeah.
pitch, and like you said, war flashback. Now
Yeah.
there was a question here, Seba. It's funny. We were just kind of talking about this right before we went on air. What was Scaloni saying?
Yeah. At one point, he covers his face like this, like everybody does now. And then what I can read from his lips, he's saying Cuti, Cuti a couple of times. He says Cuti because he says he's going to introduce Cuti Romero, and he says at the end of that clip, he says we replaced Di Maria, and then they were discussing about the substitution. So that's what Scaloni was saying. He wasn't aware that Aymar was grasping for air, trying to recover. Yeah, he needed
Yeah,
assistance. Yeah,
he needed, and then casually Samuel just kind of pops in and starts to
yeah.
talk, whereas
Oh my God.
Aymar is suffering. Aymar is
Yeah,
definitely
no.
suffering.
It
I
shows how much it means to these guys.
For sure.
of course,
Not just the
of
players,
course.
everybody involved with the national team.
And I'm sure that Aymar was in this kind of situations a lot of time, but also it talks about the pressure that was in this match for the
Yeah,
Yeah,
Argentine.
it was massive. Yeah, it was massive, and this is kind of where it all went wrong for Argentina in 2002 as well versus England. We're not going to talk about it, obviously, but like you said, Siba, war flashbacks.
yeah,
20
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago, 20 years ago, where
Absolutely, we all had them. Yeah, we all had them.
oh, I think
Yeah,
we suffered. My heart rates were very very high. But it's worth it for Argentina, I guess. Second goal.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Go ahead,
Second
Seba.
goal. No. We can talk. Of course, I have a lot of time to talk about that second goal, but I wanted to start dropping this to the audience, asking who are top of the best players that everybody felt from tonight. Give me your top three. I'm gonna ask you
Yeah,
guys as well. I'm gonna tell you mine, and we can start talking about the second goal while everybody starts commenting on
I
their pick for best of the
I
game. Yeah,
I have a top five. I can't. I don't know if I can bring it down to three, but we'll let everybody else kind of
yeah.
write.
Today was opposite from the previous game. We could have picked 10 players that were bad
Yeah,
from the
we're
first game, but today we have so many candidates, and I would argue with nobody because if anybody mentions any player, I would say, okay, yeah, you have a point. I mean,
yeah. It's
there wasn't any low points. Perhaps Rodrigo de Paul's first half was a bit
yeah.
underwhelming, but he made up for it in the second. I wouldn't pick him in my top three, but I'm seeing a lot of comments that are making me
Messi
happy
and
because I
Enzo
see,
and Otamendi
yeah,
and
yeah,
Licha,
yeah,
I
Licha as well.
love the center backs, Otamendi and Lisandro Martinez. I think they
Wow.
do so well.
You have two criminals as your center backs, two warriors who are afraid of nothing.
yeah. No, but
I
I'm
love
seeing a
them.
lot of mentions for my boy, El Huevo Acuña.
Acuna.
To me, one was saying I think Acuña had an underestimated game or underrated game. Um, that's because you didn't watch the game with me. At one point, I shouted here in the safety of my house. I said, "Well, Acuña, you're the best player in the history of South America, not just Argentina." No, I was overreacting. I was exaggerating, but to me, I mean, he I need him. I need him. I need him in
Yeah.
my life, like all the time. Gives me so much confidence. I mean, he today he
Well,
lost no ball. I mean, he did everything perfect. The only thing that they called him for a foul when he was crossing. He sent a beautiful cross. The
Yeah.
Mexican guy got underneath his foot. What do you want him to do? And they call him for a foul. That was never a foul. I
In the
mean,
first half.
yeah, in the first half,
The
he
first
sent a
half.
cross. I mean, he.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I'm still furious about that game because that play, but he's in my top three definitely, definitely. Like a
Yeah.
quiet warrior figure.
But
He had an amazing
I
game.
want you to choose the top three because of course Acuna did well. But for example, you're leaving aside. Who are you leaving aside? Because
No,
what
I'm telling you. Yeah, to me, Messi, Enzo Fernandez, and Hugo Acuna are my top three. Definitely,
Oh,
what
absolutely.
Acuna more than Martinez and Otamendi?
I thought so. Yeah, I thought so.
okay,
I mean,
okay.
as I said, I mean, anybody could pick any player today. We will all agree. I mean, there was um, no ridiculous choice today for man of the match.
Mhm.
But to me, Acuna, he did everything right all the time. Defensively, offensively, protecting the ball, playing off the ball, covering for teammates, offering himself for to receive a pass. He played different positions as well because at one point, even when we introduced more defenders, he was playing farther down the pitch.
Mhm.
To me, he's definitely in the top three. But of course, Enzo Fernandez changed the game. Messi had a goal and an assist. Of course, he scored the decisive goal, so Messi is there for me, of course. But Enzo Fernandez, especially because how many games he played for the national team, full national team?
Four. This is
Four,
he played two in September, and then no, five, maybe two in September, and then I think the UAE three, and then
and
four in Saudi Arabia back to
not even full 90 minutes. And to have a game
yeah,
like this, an impact like this, in a short space of time, hats off. Enzo is
yeah,
definitely there in my top
yeah,
three.
Yeah, Enzo for sure showed in River when he played in Benfica in Argentina. He plays there as if he had 30
Yeah,
matches already there. It's insane. And he can enter in matches like this against Saudi Arabia. I think he was the best one who entered from the bench,
yeah.
and here too. He can play with. He doesn't feel the pressure. I don't know.
yeah,
He's fearless. He is absolutely fearless. And at one point, even after the second goal, he was still there. He was still defending. He was dropping back as almost as a defensive midfielder covering. So he was all over the pitch. And can we talk a little bit about even that little dribble before his shot?
oh my
The way
god,
he, because in my head, I see him running in. I'm like, okay, maybe a penalty, maybe a 1-2. But he dribbles around and then he takes that shot, and it kind of took everybody by surprise. I think it took Ochoa by surprise, but it was so well placed and, like Osvaldo said, fearless. He doesn't
yeah.
fear anything on the pitch.
I see something in him because we all know he has a great shot in him. So I knew he was prepared to take that shot. I wasn't. That's the scary thing. I wasn't surprised he scored a goal like that. Yeah, that tells you a lot that you need to know about him. But the way first the dribble that he
Yeah.
makes, similar, very similar to Ronaldo, the Brazilian one, the phenomenal. I saw a goal he scored. You know, every night when we go to bed, instead of telling my kids a story, we watch all the goals for a single edition of the World Cup, and we're going back in time.
Oh,
So we were watching a couple of nights ago every goal from the 2006 World Cup, and there's one from Ronaldo against Ghana. He
he beats the
does the
goalkeeper.
same yeah, this very similar move to. I'm not comparing Enzo with Ronaldo before
Oh,
anybody
But
calls me
Ronaldo
crazy.
Ronaldo learned that from Enzo. Enzo taught
Yeah,
Ronaldo everything he knew.
Ronaldo couldn't do it today, so there you go.
No.
But the way he does that is amazing. But what I see in him, like every time he hits the ball, not just today, it really I think it defies physics even because the way his right knee it's so close to his left knee when he hits the ball, it's almost as he shouldn't be shooting that well if
Mhm.
both legs are so close to. It's very difficult to explain, but have a look at that. There's an image from behind the goal. You see his leg and it doesn't look like he's striking the ball so well, but he does. And every time he shoots, that's his technique. And I think that's why the ball goes like floating like this. It's so difficult, so beautiful to
It's
watch. The way he shoots the ball, he's one of my top five players in the world in terms of aesthetics, right?
mhm.
I pay a lot of attention to that. It's pleasing
It's
to the eye. I'm in love with this player. I have always been. I mean, always been. I just known him for a couple of
Couple of
years.
months.
Yeah, but the
Yes.
way he strikes the ball, it's amazing. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Not only plays well because he plays really well, but he also plays nice. That's why so many people like the way he plays. And I personally
Yeah.
think, I don't know. I guess we are then gonna talk about our next match, but I think he should be a starter against
See,
Poland.
because yeah, that's the other thing. Because if you look at the midfield options now, according to reports or rumors, it's part of the reason why Paredes didn't start today is because he's not fully fit. He's not 100% fit. Guido, I thought had a decent game defensively for what he had to do. I don't think he made any mistakes. McAllister, I thought, was probably one of our better players in the first half. To be
For
very
sure.
Yeah,
honest,
definitely,
I
definitely.
don't think he played a bad game at all, and especially he had a 1-2 with Messi in the second half, and he was pushing, he was driving the ball forward, getting it forward more in the second half. Um, so I thought he did well, but now, like Osvaldo kind of mentioned, well, if Paredes is 100%, what do you do? Do you drop Guido? Do you go Paredes, De Paul, and Enzo? Because I don't think De Paul's form is going to stay like this. And to be honest, I thought he killed himself in the second half, and there's no way he's going to get dropped. I thought he played very, very
Absolutely not.
well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So now it's a matter of, do you go with the same one as now, or do you change it up?
No, I mean there was a big talking point. Of course, you have a catastrophic defeat in your World Cup debut that puts you on the limit and with no margin of error, and then from one game to another you make five substitutions, but I
Yeah.
felt only one of them was tactical today. Only one substitution was tactical. It wasn't major surgery on the starting 11. I think this has a lot to do with the game plan. We've been talking about it in previous videos. They're all there. Watch it if you're bored at some point or if you want to get to sleep. Either
It's
will
informative.
work.
It's informative.
Yeah, but the point is, I feel like we headed into the World Cup with Scaloni saying, "Okay, I'm gonna play these two fullbacks in the first game. I'm gonna change them for the second game." He
Yeah.
has been interchanging Tagliafico and Acuna, Molina and Montiel. We know them, and we know that for a long, long time. The other two substitutions that we saw,
Well,
Romero and Guido in for Paredes, were much fitness related. So the only tactical substitution was replacing Papu, which was very offensive minded, and putting Alexis McAllister. So
I think we're losing Seba just a little bit. I think it's cutting.
oh,
Is it?
sorry, I
No,
think
it's
it's
okay, Seba.
my connection. Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
So to me, I think in essence it was only one tactical substitution from one
Substitution.
game to the other. So it's not major surgery, nothing to panic about. I don't think Scaloni is panicking or losing trust in his team. So for next game, I also think he already has a game plan in mind for
Hmm.
Poland. It's nothing against any of the players. It's what Scaloni will see fits best depending on the opposition, right? It's not the same
Yeah.
to play against Poland than to play against Mexico or Saudi Arabia. So don't overthink any of these substitutions that could be making. Don't think for a second he's not trusting one player or another. There must be a reason for any decision that he makes. So I wouldn't go crazy around substitutions for the next game, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
worry if he changes 3 4 players because to me he adapts a lot depending on the opposition. Sabella
Yeah.
did it. So many
Of
managers do.
course.
So
Sabella
that's
and
what I
Sabella
think.
had yeah, and Sabella had no problem in the middle of the tournament just replacing Federico Fernandez with Demichelis. Obviously, some of the stuff
Right.
were forced with Enzo Perez and Di Maria's injury. But Osvaldo, I mean, how do you see the midfield looking, or maybe even the back line against Poland? Do you think we get substitutions, or how would you line up?
I think we might get some. I agree with Seba that Scaloni choose their players a lot based on the opponent. I also think that in most of the positions, there are not big differences in in the levels of the players. So it's good to choose one in the place of another, because of what one can be more offensive than the other. For example, the right and left backs. So I guess he's gonna choose that based on the opponent. The midfield, I personally like how McAllister play. I really like it. He plays simple, correct, but he did it really well. Same with Enzo. Rodrigo de Paul, as you were saying, he didn't have a good match, this one and the previous one. Uh, but of course, we have to try to continue with the ball until he can get the form that brought him to this World Cup. Of course, I would also like to point that Dibu Martinez, he just got maybe couple of saves, not that much, but he had one very important in the first half of a Mexico free kick, which was a brilliant save that
Oh,
he didn't give the rebound. I think that rebound could ended up with a goal. It was not only difficult to get to that ball, but also the way he got it
to
without.
hold it.
Yeah, that was insane. That was insane. Also, like following the with other players that maybe we didn't mention. Um, I don't think Lautaro Martinez played a good match. It was difficult, it was tough. Mexico, all the Mexican lines in most of the first half and second half were very a stretch, and it was difficult. It was a difficult match for Lautaro Martinez, but still, I don't think he played that well. Di
Hmm.
Maria, at least in the first half, he tried a lot. He's one of the players that tries to go always in front and try to ask for the ball and go and go and go. Sometimes he has a lot of players from the opposite team in front, and he still goes there, maybe pass the ball. But I like it all the same. I don't know what you guys think about Di Maria and Lautaro Martinez, for example.
No,
Yeah.
it's good point. Good. A couple of talking points. I feel like the World Cup so far is being this edition of the World Cup is being very unfair on Lautaro. He today he didn't have any chances to score. There was a cross that they sent his way. He headed.
Yeah.
It was a very
But
uncomfortable. It wasn't a clear
he
cut
had he had
chance.
a defender on him. He had a player on
Yeah,
him.
he had a defender on. He did well to get some room and head it. He couldn't direct it goalwards, but he had two chances this World Cup, and he sent them both in. But he still has no goals scored because I'm talking about the disallowed goals in the
Yeah.
first game. I felt so that's why I feel it's been difficult, and this is something that we've been seeing uh, in the whole Scaloni era. He doesn't get a lot of chances. This is a team that doesn't play exactly entirely for the number nine,
Hmm.
for the striker to have a lot of chances. He has to fight for his chances. He has to, get into different places, and yet even then he scored a lot of goals for Argentina, but just not now. It didn't happen in the first half. Sorry, first game. Today it was another difficult game for him. Julian also didn't have any chances, so we are not talking about lacking some firepower from our strikers. It's just that we are not fluid enough to create chances for them. Look at the goals we scored today in this World Cup. We scored
Yeah.
one from a penalty spot, one from outside the box. It was a moment of brilliance from Messi, and the other one it was another moment of brilliance, another shoot from distance. It's not like we are elaborating a lot of clear cut chances. We're not playing 1-2s through the middle. We haven't seen any of our players miss a great goal. Um, so
No.
to me, the jury is still out for Lautaro. And Di Maria, it was one of the talking points previously for us. I was of the opinion to use Di Maria as a super sub, especially after seeing the first game. But I'm okay with him starting nowadays.
Yeah.
Today, I think in the first half, he was one of the ones that tried the most. It was interesting to see that he wasn't playing
He,
on the right all the time. He was
no.
moving to the left. He was playing different, trying to confuse the Mexican defenders. But we couldn't create many chances with
Yeah,
him on the pitch,
yeah.
and yet
No,
he had an assist.
he did.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things.
It's it's the never-ending debate regarding Di Maria, right? Especially now. It's, well, do you start him or do you use him as a super sub coming off the bench? Because comment right here. I mean, Alvarez worked really, really hard coming off the bench, and there was one with the counter attack, the one where he was running and DePaul kind of had a heavy touch. And to be fair to DePaul, he was absolutely dead. He was absolutely out
Yeah.
of it. But going back a little bit to what Osvaldo said, Dibu, a good save. He held on to it. He looked calm out there. He didn't panic, which is very good to see. Very, very good to see. And then, I mean, regarding Di Maria, it's going to be very interesting. I would potentially start Di Maria versus Poland, just because I think now that the team got that win and kind of got that monkey off their back, different responsibilities. And as you mentioned, Seba, he was everywhere in that first half. He was on the very right hand side. He was very deep. He was very towards the front. And a couple of seconds later, he was on the left side, helping out Acuna. At times, even sort of like drifting towards the middle of the pitch as well. So I would personally start him, but it would be interesting to see. Not that we have much space to kind of test out, but maybe a front two of Lautaro and Julian. I think it'd be very, very interesting in
Mhm.
regards to that. And my question as well is, now, do you start this guy right here? Is my question. Do you,
Obviously, you got the
I
wrong
don't
picture.
know.
Yeah,
Do you start him? That's my question. Do you start?
Look at that picture. That is
Look at
amazing.
that. One,
That
two,
is
three,
amazing.
4, 5, 6. I count 6 Mexicans around him when
Yeah,
he took that
yeah,
shot
yeah,
right
yeah.
here. So I don't know if we
Amazing.
start him. I think he's worth getting a shot. I mean, it's okay. He's played okay.
He's the new guy, right?
The new guy, and
Uh,
it's you know it's funny because right after he scored, and they mentioned the commentary, I think it was Peter Drury on the international feed, said Messi's the youngest Argentine to score at a World Cup versus Serbia and Montenegro in 2006. And then when Enzo Fernandez scored, they said Enzo is the youngest player since Lionel Messi to score at a World Cup for Argentina. He's only 21. And going back to that, I'm tempted to start him. He's in great form, and I'm very, very tempted to start Enzo. I don't know how much of a draw, how much that really helps us against Poland, but Poland cannot afford to lose either, and they can't afford too much to take many risks and play it very safe. So for me, I would potentially start Enzo maybe with Paredes and De Paul, and go with the three demons up front, and Di Maria, Lautaro, and the guy that we just showed on screen, some guy called
yeah.
Lionel Messi.
Now, can we see some pictures from
Of
today?
course, of
Yeah,
course.
you have them.
Let me bring them up. We had some pictures that were sent. So we have, this is the first one here. Let me just put it back up on screen. If this ever wants, here we go. Where is it? Here we are. So there's this one, and
Nice.
yeah, let's bring this
Can
up.
you
We
make it a
want.
little bigger? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There you
There you go. There's that, and then there's
go.
these two that are kind of circled. If you look at
There you
that
go.
fan
So,
right there.
yeah, so you see, there's God and there's Jesus there. Yeah, we had some divine intervention today, I think, right?
Yeah,
Look
no,
at
it was something. It was that celebration, that relief, and him scoring and then telling the fans like, "Let's go," like "Vamos,
yeah,
vamos."
yeah,
And then there was a part even after the first goal, the ball went out for a throw, and De Paul was looking at the Argentina fans, and he was raising his
yeah,
hands like, "Come on, we need you guys. Let's get into it," because it really looked as if there were more Mexican fans in the stadium than Argentines, at least in the first half, because there was a long period of time where Argentina would have the ball and you would hear fans booing, boo.
yeah.
But that second half, just wow. And then the celebrations. We had some celebrations as well.
I
I'll
want to
bring
see.
that
I
up.
want to see.
We have to see some of these celebrations. Oh, I mean, I don't know how much this one was a celebration. Those we're gonna get back to a video that you sent me, Seba. But
What did I say? Be careful. Be
yeah,
careful with that.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I don't want any. copyright issues. Um,
Right.
yeah, give me a sec, everybody. We'll take a look at the celebrations uh, from the
In the
dressing
dressing
rooms.
room.
In the dressing room, just make this a little bit bigger here, and here we go. Tell me that's not a relieved bunch of players. Tell me
I
that's not a relieved
see.
bunch of players right there.
Yeah, no, you're right. I see a relief bunch of players and a psychopath wearing the goalkeeper's uniform and jumping on.
Yeah, jumping.
Yeah, that's what I see.
No, it's not. This is why I think, or this is why I said I think we're going to get a very different Argentina team against
Yeah,
Poland.
Yeah,
yeah. We can Osvaldo. There's people asking about translation for that song. I think we could translate that. Roughly, it says, "Hey guys, we going to watch Argentina. We can see Diego in heaven
Yes.
with his father and his mother cheering on Lionel. That's very emotional." They also mention in that song. They also mention the Falkland Wars, the Malvinas War,
Yeah.
um, um, in reference to the soldiers that the Argentina soldiers. We don't want. I don't want to get too political, but
yeah,
No,
it's a mention there. And then finally, they mention the final at the Maracanã against Brazil. It's one of the songs that is making the rounds these days.
yeah.
that's true. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but also Scaloni was there jumping with the players. It was a great relief not only for the players but also for the coaching staff, as we saw also with Aymar.
Yeah, no, it was everyone jumped in. Everyone jumped in, and you could just tell how relieved they were. The faces, like you just mentioned, Osvaldo, the face, Scaloni. I wonder how Aymar must have felt on the inside after that.
Yeah, no,
After what we saw.
incredible.
And I also
No.
uh, compared, for example, with the 2018 World Cup, where also Argentina didn't start well.
Yeah.
That big difference. One of the biggest difference is the unity in one team and in the other one.
Oh my
I don't
God.
know if you saw
Night and day.
in that video there was, I think, every Argentinian player, Almada, Dybala, a lot of players that don't start that could have a chance of starting, but still there's a sense of unity that it's really nice.
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking of one thing that maybe can easily be checked. Maybe people in the chat will know this, but of course, this is affected by the rule of 5 substitutions. But I think this has to be the World Cup in which, after 2 games, we've used the most players so far. I mean, there was one comment about the strength in the squad. It's not just the starting 11. So to me, that's one of the good things about today is that we saw the introduction of so many different players, and with 2 games gone, there's only a handful of players that haven't seen action yet. I'm thinking Dybala as the highest profile player that hasn't seen any action. He's
Thiago
coming
Almada.
from injury, so maybe that's one of the reasons. Thiago Almada, Angel Correa, the latest addition.
Juan
After
Foyth.
Juan Foyth. Just a
That's
handful, right? It's not.
that's
There's no many
yeah.
left.
Germán Pasella, I think, and that's it.
Yeah.
5 of the
So
21.
that is a good.
And
That is a good thing to see. That's a good sign. You are the coaching staff staff trusts the squad, not just the starting 11. That's good because when you only trust your starting 11, then you burn out. Then there's so many
it's
bad things that can happen.
no, very, very, very bad. And going back a little bit to what Osvaldo said, not just the team unity, which is obviously massive throughout this team for the past couple of years, but it's the difference in quality as well. I saw some people asking in the chat, well, Argentina barely scraped through in 2018. Why does this feel any different, or why should it? Number one, the unity, the confidence right now, and the quality of the entire squad, not just the 11. Something
Yeah,
you just kind of alluded to, Seba, as well. And we spent a couple of minutes talking about, well, if this player is not fit for this game, or if this player doesn't have the necessary profile for the game against Mexico, no problem. We're going to put this player in and we're not going to
yeah,
feel the difference. And the quality as well is just massive. And that is something people talk about France, for example, and rightfully so. France is, an entirely different level. So I'm not trying to compare, but Argentina have that depth in quality as well. If that kind of makes sense in the sense of, well, we lost Lo Celso, okay, we lost Paredes, who's not fit for this game, no problem. We're gonna put in Enzo Fernandez as a substitute. We're gonna put in Guido Rodriguez or Alexis McAllister, and these are not necessarily high-profile names, right? Someone like Alexis McAllister playing for a modest club like Brighton in the Premier League, not playing for any of the top four, top five, comes into a must-win game for Argentina and is arguably one of their better players of the first half and does very well in the second half. So that is something that is a very, very big reason to be optimistic, especially for the game against Poland and potentially moving forward in the World Cup.
let's talk about scenarios for the third
Yes.
round of matches, because one of the things that is incredible about this group, or not incredible because it happened so many times before, but it's very attractive, is that all four teams are in it after two rounds. They can all
Yeah.
qualify, they can all get knocked out. That is that is pretty intense. So moving on to scenarios,
Yeah.
we can start with the simple one. It's win and
Qualify.
qualify. Yeah, for
That's
us,
it.
it's win and qualify. Then you have to see whether you qualify as a winner of the group or not. But a win will see you through, and a defeat will see you eliminated. There's no confusion there. You win
No.
and you are through, and you lose, you're out. And a
Yeah.
draw makes you depend on different results, right?
Yeah.
If both games end in a draw, we're safe. We're there, but as the second place team in the group, because now we're second place. Poland is first, Argentina second, Saudi Arabia third, and Mexico fourth.
But it
So
would depend on goal difference, Seb, I think.
it won't. We are through.
Oh, it's true. You're
If
right. You're right.
both games are ending a draw, we're through. So that's good. That's good news. I mean, the minute the games are going to be played simultaneously, remember. So the minute the
Yeah.
referees, the minute both games kick off,
Both games are
if no
starting.
goals are scored, we're through. So that's
Yeah.
another interesting point. Now, what happens if we continue in a draw with Poland and there's a goal in the other stadium, right? So if it's a Mexico goal, no problem. We can still get a draw and advance.
Yeah.
Mexico would need to score 4 goals to get past Argentina, because if they score 3, we will end up equal on points,
And then
goal
you need
scored,
three. Yeah.
goal scored, and goal difference, and goal against, everything. And the tiebreaker there will be the result between us, because we beat them, we will be through. So they will need to get 4 goals if we get a draw against Poland. The problem is with the draw. The problem is that Saudi Arabia will beat us with any score. If they
Yeah.
beat Mexico, they will overtake our place, and that's it. They will qualify first, and Poland will be second. So those are the main scenarios, right?
Yeah.
That's what happened if we win and Saudi Arabia win. Both end with 6 points, but goal difference plays to our favor. So we need to win, and for Saudi Arabia not to win by 3 more goals than we score, than
Yeah.
the difference that we can make. So those are the main scenarios that I try to sum up for you. I'm terrible when it comes to mathematics. Yeah, I am reading that comment. Uh, that was the worst. The worst when I was in high school. I really struggled with math. I'm not very good at that, but when it comes to football and group stages, I really love it.
we're all good with that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I agree that we have really good chances. Um, of course, right now, as we started the World Cup with a loss against Saudi Arabia, we were just thinking of passing the group stage. Uh, but let's remember that also at the beginning or before this World Cup, we have like biggest aspirations of not only going through but also as first, and maybe doesn't have to like don't face France in the round of 16. So I think, and I also think the players are gonna go out with that mentality of winning and trying to lead the group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I'm curious about. Sorry, Roy, but I'm curious about the approach that every team will take on the game, right? Because Saudi Arabia, they know they are through with a win, and that will be a massive achievement for them. They don't care about finishing second, first, whatever. They will get through in a group that nobody gave any
any
odds.
chance?
Yeah, for them to make it. So they know that with a win they're through, right?
Yeah.
Mexico, they could be qualified with a 1-0 win if we beat Poland by a big margin, or if Poland beat us. For Mexico, it will be the same. Poland, they know that with a draw they're qualified. With a win, they take the group no matter what. But
Hmm.
at the same time, if they lose, they go out. And for us, we have to win. We have to avoid defeat, and with a draw, we can make it. But we depend on the other results. So it's not like any team can play for a certain result. I mean, if Poland
No,
play for a draw, it's dangerous for them because if it doesn't pay
it
off,
is.
it's
It's.
dangerous.
I think every team, all four teams in the group, have to go with the mindset of we need a win
Yeah,
because you can't play it safe. You really cannot play.
absolutely.
If Mexico cannot afford to do what they did today at all, they really can't because they need points. Saudi Arabia are on the brink of history and technically have already, they've made history already at the World Cup. Poland potentially could be in on paper anyways in the best chance right now based off points, but they're arguably facing the most difficult team in the group
Right,
in Argentina. So
right.
they could maybe approach it in the sense of, well, we could go for a draw, but if they go for a draw and Argentina score, then it complicates things for them. So I think all four teams have to approach it in the sense of we have to get a goal and we have to win. And then it's a matter of, yes, let's qualify no matter what, but then you also think of, well, it's likely France if you finish second, and maybe Denmark if you finish first. So
Yeah,
that's a whole other thing as well.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. For
and
Denmark, for Denmark now it became only one scenario possible for them. They need to
win,
beat Australia because
win.
they couldn't beat Tunisia. They lost today, so it means another draw. They're out because Australia are on 3 points already.
Yeah.
So if they win, they are through. More likely as second place because France already qualified. They have 6 points.
And
No, they can't reach France. So
no.
if they win, that's it. They're gonna be second, and France will be first,
Mhm.
unless Tunisia beat France. Right? Of
And
course, that's a that's another
That's a whole
scenario.
other scenario.
that's
Yeah,
like Saudi Arabia beating Argentina.
yeah,
Possible,
yeah.
but
It
can
is possible. It
Yeah.
certainly is possible. But you know what? I mean, now that you guys mentioned playing against Australia, no disrespect to them, and no disrespect to anybody, especially as Argentina fans, with after what we just went through with Saudi Arabia. But playing against Australia or playing against France, at least on paper, I favor our chances against
Mhm.
against Australia rather than
Can
rather
you
than
put
France.
Calvin's Dino's comment there because he's
Yeah,
asking a question about Poland. Yeah, no.
yeah,
To clarify this, Poland, if they lose, they need another result, right?
to get them out.
Yeah, they can still make it with a defeat, but they risk. I mean, they can't risk it because if they lose big against us and Mexico score a couple, score a few, or if Saudi Arabia wins and they lose by only 1 point, they're out. So
Yeah.
it's too risky. Let's say they play for a draw they try to sit deep and try to avoid Argentina from to score,
Scoring.
but they concede late on. They could be out of the World Cup with only a 1-0 defeat. It's too risky for them to play too conservative. But at the same time, they may feel that that's the best opportunity they have against Argentina. I don't know. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know really.
It's
I don't know if you mentioned it because my connection went off for a couple of seconds. But the Group D of France, Australia, Denmark, and Tunisia gonna play 4 hours before our match
Right.
starts.
oh,
So that means that we're gonna play our match knowing that if we are first, we're gonna play against this team, or if we're second, we're gonna play against this other team.
That is a very good
exactly.
point. I haven't
There
seen
you
this,
go.
so yeah, we
I
didn't mention it.
I I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's very good. So potentially, but see, either way, and that certainly helps a lot, especially throughout the game. Um, we'll know. We'll know
Yeah,
if somehow you finish first, who you play against. If you finish second, who would you play against? We're gonna get a lot of games on Wednesday. It's gonna
Yeah.
be on Wednesday.
mhm. Yeah.
But yeah,
And for the record, of course, we do it because we have to do it. We are talking about Argentina. We are a big community. We do these videos after the game. That this is what everybody wants to know. But for the record, what I think, and is very important, the team. I'm sure they're not thinking about different scenarios, different
no, no,
rivals,
no, at
different.
all.
We saw it today. They were on a mission. They were today. It was a test for the mentality, for their spirits, because
Absolutely.
they were just coming off a massive, massive disappointment, and it wasn't like a football tragedy. Today they had a lot to prove, um, and they overcame um, this
A lot.
very difficult situation. So I'm not
Yeah.
worried because the team. I think the team is focused. They're not gonna get complacent or distracted by different
That's
scenarios. We, of course, this is entertainment. We have to do it, but they're
we
not.
as
They're not.
fans,
Yeah, yeah. You
as
don't
fans
see
too.
you don't see Messi getting a calculator off his pocket. Yeah, no,
I thought it,
No,
that's
and I also think that every single team they don't think of maybe with a draw they pass. Of course, they know that in the back of their heads, but most of the teams they just try to play to win, and then if
yeah.
they get a draw, that's good. And of course, maybe
Except
yeah,
except for Austria and Germany in 1982, they
I
played
remember.
for a draw.
ah, that was
They that was a disgrace.
that
They
was
were both through with a draw, and that was a disgrace for football.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I
But
agree with Osvaldo. It's not. I mean, these days you can't just play for a draw.
no,
It's
it's too
ridiculous.
risky. It's
Yeah,
very very risky, and we mentioned this towards and when we did the first video or the Saudi Arabia video. We said maybe losing to Saudi Arabia in a weird way was probably the wake up call that the team needed. It's better for them to lose in the first game and not underestimate any other team for the rest of the tournament. So and not play for a draw. And like you said, Seb, I don't think Messi's there with the calculator or Scaloni's there with the calculator, saying, "Well, if we draw, we're gonna play this team." No, I think they're out to win. I think
absolutely.
they're out to win.
Um,
Um,
it's a lovely
on,
comment from Anthony there, Anthony Larimore. Thank you so much. It
there you
means it
go.
means a lot. Yeah, that's why Mundo was born.
Thanks, man.
We thought about how big Argentina's the love
Reach.
for Argentina
I
is
love.
everywhere. We've seen it these days. But like to me, growing up, it wasn't. We were not living in a global world like these days. The communications were not that easy. You went for a holiday 400 kilometers from Buenos Aires. You couldn't communicate that easily. You have to um, make a line, a queue, a very long queue at night. Try to get to a public phone. Call your mom. Call somebody. Call home. And the communication was horrible. Nowadays, I could talk to somebody from Bangladesh. They could see me. They could, I could see them. It's different, and that made us appreciate all of the love that there is for Argentina. Of course, coming from Diego's times, and with Southeast Asia, for example, having a lot of love for Argentina because maybe they're not so lucky to have a national team that make it to the World Cup, but they adopt Argentina. They love it with all their hearts. The things that you see coming from India, all the decorations, all the the parades that you see from Bangladesh, people going crazy with their motorbikes, the flag competitions, and that's. I mean, I'm blown away. I was born in Argentina, and to me, to travel the world and to see that you say, "Yeah, I'm from Argentina." Oh, Messi, Maradona. Yeah, here, let's have a drink. That's incredibly. I get incredibly emotional. So, thank you guys because it goes both ways. We break down all the information. Perhaps there is not a lot uh, in English about the Argentina national team, and we're here for that. And we know that that's valuable for you guys, but it works both ways because to us, it's very moving and emotional to see you guys being awake at 6 a.m. in the morning, watching us, talking with us. I mean, that's overwhelming. Really, really, from my heart, I wanted to thank you.
Thank you for that, Seba. Very, and I mean that not in a sarcastic way, but very
Yeah,
emotional,
absolutely.
and thank you for uniting the continents. Thank you for everybody for joining. I
Yeah,
mean, Seba said, "There's no Mundo without you guys. There's no Mundo Albiceleste without you guys."
yeah.
And Seba and I have
To
known each other for 16 years. Osvaldo and
oh my
I
God,
just
yeah.
couple, well,
Osvaldo was a
a
baby.
little less than
Yeah,
that.
Osvaldo was a baby. He was in
Yeah,
kindergarten when we met.
yeah, yeah,
But
probably.
I'll tell you, I saw footage of uh, news journal TV in Bangladesh, and the
Yeah,
presenter, the lady was wearing the Argentina shirt. I mean, I got tears to my eyes. I mean,
I,
it's
you
too
had
much.
sent that. You had sent that to me,
Yeah,
Seba, but I can't.
you can't play
Unfortunately,
it.
for copyright reasons, we.
Copyright? Okay, but
Yeah, but
look at it online. We could retweet maybe. It's
I
incredible.
just
It's
gotta get the
incredible.
link. Yeah, we can. We'll share the link. We'll certainly share the link. But yeah, it was very surprising. It was a news presenter wearing the Argentina alternate kit, the purple shirt.
Yeah, the purple one. Yeah, amazing.
But yeah. Um, on that note, we've been going for wow,
Yeah,
already an hour and 17 minutes, almost an hour and a
yeah.
half. Last thoughts, final thoughts, Osvaldo, on everything.
Yeah, I hope we win against Poland. I really look forward to that. I'm like Scaloni and the players. I don't want to be with a calculator. I want to win, and that's it.
There you go. I
Vamos,
like that. I
vamos.
like that.
Somebody's asking for champagne. No, I'm sorry to disappoint. Not cracking the champagne open. No chance. I know that there's people here in the Obelisco, the obelisk, where the central place in Buenos Aires, where people get together to celebrate big wins, big tournament wins, etc. Um, I feel that's a bit premature, but it tells you a lot about the pressure that the fans were also feeling. So they went out to celebrate tonight, and that's good. So
That's
today
good.
I'm drinking water. Uh, happy to report, but yeah, I'm the same as Osvaldo. But today was a big relief. I hope that today was like um, the team regaining confidence in their own abilities, and you know, I'm starting to think about the game against Poland maybe more than I should for my health, but I can't help it. So bring on Wednesday. No need the calculator, and hopefully, hopefully, I'm not gonna continue
No.
the sentence. Hope I will just say
No, 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 no,
hopefully.
no. We're gonna stop that. I know where you're going, Seb. I think we all know where uh, where you're going with that. But no, no calculator needed. Get the win, right? Get the win.
Yeah,
Make it 2 wins out of 3. Qualify for the next round. Whoever you play, right? As long as you
yeah,
qualify. But I just want to thank you, Seba, and thank you, Osvaldo, and thank you everybody for joining us. Argentina got the first win at the World Cup. Lionel Messi, Enzo Fernandez. Great goals. Check them out. If you haven't already, check them out. And even if you have, go back and watch them again because they are very much worth watching. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining Seba, Osvaldo. Thank you, guys, as always. And everybody, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notifications button. We got more coming. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
vamos.
Thanks.